Actually, let me share the article with you, and we'll see if we can get some entertainment out of this. Doesn't that sound like a good idea?
I guess so.
All right, good. I'm glad you agree.
I don't.
DC Comics arrive in stores in bubble wrap. This Rich Johnson article, it's like they're surprised that the distributor took care of the comics that they sent out. You know, they're shocked.
Because Diamond doesn't. Diamond just throws stuff in a box, and if
gets
there, it gets there.
Oh yeah.
I've never spoken with a comic shop owner that's like talks about the care taken with their packages when they order stuff.
Yeah.
I've talked to several comic shop owners that in their entire time being open, they've never gotten one order correct.
Yep. Well, this is the article. It says, now this is how you make an impact on comic retailers as the new distributor of comic books. Bleeding Cool has reports that retailers have started to receive the DC Comics titles for sale on Tuesday, though without actually receiving any restriction for sales date, they could start selling them right now. But Lunar Distribution, also known as DCBS, seems to have learnt from their own need to sell comic books in decent condition and have left nothing to chance. Retailers receive their comics in close to mint condition as possible, courtesy of copious and oversized bubble wrap. Retailers have reported to Bleeding Cool that they would never known distribution like it. Wow. It's kind of like they shoved it in their face, you know, for all the retailers and all the people that were saying, "Oh, this is such a bad idea, DC." Yeah. You know, Diamond is the greatest thing ever to walk the earth, and all of a sudden, DCBS, who's been shipping comics to people for many, many, many years, all of a sudden they send it to them in bubble wrapped and took excellent care of the books.
Yeah.
And look at this. This is a picture of one of the packages.
I've worked in warehousing and distribution. And that's what you have to do. You have to use either bubble wrap or foam pads or peanuts or packing paper. You have to use something. If honestly, you just throw books or any sort of product.
Honestly, box, I think it was I think it was actually an order that I received from DCBS's sister company, which is In Stock Trades. Mm-hmm. And I had ordered something for them, and when it came in the mail, they had taken all the books, there weren't that many, and they laid them on a piece of hard, stiff cardboard, and they shrink wrapped it, and then put it in bubble wrap and so forth. And I was like, that's one way to keep the books. Number one, the books from moving. Number two, they're not shifting around everywhere, and and anytime I would send somebody a book through the mail, I would wrap it like that, because it's like, to me, a really good, solid, easy way to keep them from shifting and moving and getting knocked around. And see that all the retailers and all the people that were all downing on DCBS and Midtown for doing this didn't realize that these companies had been around and been doing it for a long, long time. Even though they haven't been distributing to comic book stores, they've been doing shipping around the world for many years. They know what they're doing.
And apparently they're doing a better job already than Diamond.
Yeah. But now of course, Rich has got to shift the focus to the fact that, you know, these books aren't that important. It's like Daphne Byrne #4, which they named it wrong.
Richard said, let them all rot.
Yeah. Oh, wait, Todd's here. Hey, Todd, how's it going?
Yo.
Yeah, it's, you know, how they package stuff. You know, when I worked in a warehouse, people would order a case of tile UPS, next day air. I would have to take that case of tile, take the small pieces of tile in little handfuls of 4 or 5 tile, saran wrap those in those little groups. Then I would pack them all in a box, fill that box up with peanuts or paper. Then I would put that box in another box that was even bigger and pack it all around there with paper or peanuts or foam pads or something, and then tape it up. You could literally drop that box and it would bounce.
Yeah. Yeah, but the point is
how far you have to go.
The point is, you knew what you were doing. You knew how to ship the product. These guys have known how to ship the product for years.
Exactly.
What are we? Catch me up. What are we talking about?
Bleeding Cool article about stores receiving their orders from DCBS for the DC Comics, and they're shocked that they took so much care in packing the books. They packed them in bubble wrap. Here, I'll show you the picture. and they're like shocked at this is how you make an impact. But then of course he switches to, but in actuality, what are they getting? They're getting Batman Giant #4, which of course over a month ago Walmart had it, so it's not that important. It's really not that important.
Yeah, Rich that guy's a piece of shit.
And he goes and he talks about one of the issues that came out was Daphne Byrne #4, but he calls it Daphne Byrne #2. They never fixed that, corrected that. I mean, it's right there, 4, right there on the cover. And he quotes it wrong, which actually the Daphne Byrne book is actually pretty good. It's Kelly Jones art, and it's creepy. So, I mean, it's a perfect perfect combination of those two.
Cool.
But yeah, then he says DC has 2 reprinted books available in stores this week: Batman 89 3rd printing and Nightwing 70 2nd printing. It also has 2 new books: Daphne Byrne should be #4 and Dreaming #20. But where did they come from? Given that DC Comics printer Transcontinental Printing of Canada closed down, and the print runs are being held at Diamond Comics Distributing Warehouse also closed down. Well, now here is Daphne Byrne, #4, of course, as received today. And turns out what they found out is by zooming in on the indicia, we get a better idea of what's going on. These are copies of Daphne Byrne and the Dreaming that were printed on March 20th before the shutdown. We presume that Diamond had all of these, but they may instead be overrun that DC kept, now repurposed for these new distributors. Could this be why DC Comics chose these titles for the 1-week production they already had in their own warehouse and enough to satisfy likely demand? Something that might not be true for Batman 92, maybe. Oh, now he wants to throw shade on them. First you say, okay, look how great they did in packaging, but what they were sending was junk anyway, and are they going to be able to handle this other one? Maybe not. It's like, man, I think stores are just happy they're getting something, you know? But the same goes for the reprint tiles. These do not appear to be added additional printings on top of those stored at Diamond, but part of the original print run from the original printers and dated as such. What will happen in sequential weeks, we don't know. But there's another wrinkle when it comes to the additional printing not designated as such. Transcontinental Printing of Canada is open for business once again, and that includes comics. The new distributor wars of 2020 has just gotten more interesting.
Yeah, he had to talk about what the product is to try to shift focus away from the proper care that was taken by the distributor, the proper care of that product. Because when you're packing something to ship to a customer, whether it be a store or a private person, you have to ask yourself, well, if it was my $50, $100, or $100 or $200, how would I want this taken care of?
Yep.
What I think is amazing is
the lack. Think about that.
What I think is amazing is the lack of awareness on the part of these, comic shop owners and people like Rich Johnson. Like, there's the lack of awareness. Like, or just a clear understanding of how economics work and basic free market trade works. When you have a monopoly, whether it's a legal one or not a legal one, whatever. Sorry, I'm eating chocolate.
Oh, good.
When you have a monopoly, the monopoly controls everything. Like, Diamond can just chuck a bunch of books in there. Who cares if a third of them get damaged? Because where the hell is a comic shop going to go? Do you know what happens when there's like a viable competitor that actually packs books like this in the picture you're showing?
Oh, yeah.
Diamond all of a sudden ups their game and spends a little bit more money and care in the packaging of things, and maybe starts giving discounts because they have a competitor.
Yeah, I don't know.
If when there are competitors in the market, you win. Like, the consumer wins.
Hey, how long ago did Dan DiDio leave DC? Because he's still listed as publisher on these comics.
Well, that's probably why, actually, Andrew. Like, I probably went to press right before he was
at the time they were printed. Even though that was months ago at this point, right? Oh well, that's why I thought it was so funny when what's his name from Lone Star, My Comic Shop, or whatever, was saying, what are they going to do when they have to deal with damaged books? And my first thought was, they won't have any.
Well, they'll have some. Some things will, no matter what you do.
Yeah, but
something's going to happen. But odds are they'll take care of it.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing: is like
this is obviously not their first rodeo.
It's actually the funny thing is, it's actually easier to take care of damaged books when there's a small percentage of them, as opposed to like when half your shipments are trash.
Yeah.
You know, like
there's going to be a huge reduction in all that. And if they provide a better service,
I think it's great. I think it's awesome. I don't, I hope they stay in business, because I think all it does is help the industry. All it could do is help the industry to have multiple vendors and multiple distribution points. And I don't care what Brian Hibbs and all these people say. Who knows why I don't understand the hard on they have for them. Like all this talk about, they've been such a good vendor. Man, that's bull. You can Google, you can find Brian Hibbs articles where he's trashing Diamond.
Oh yeah.
Like it is not like, they're just an amazing thing. Like, I don't know whether that dude's getting kickbacks or whether he gets special discounts. I get it that he wants to see these guys as like that he sees DCBS as a competitor. But tough, if you saw, they're not even the same game. If you really saw Midtown Comics and DCBS as a competitor, you would have launched your own distribution system. Because you're competing with Midtown Comics has a comic shop, and Midtown Comics has a distribution center.
Yep.
You are not competing with the distribution center. That is a different business. It has different margins. It's probably under a different clearly it's under a different LLC. It's not the same business. So get off your high horse. He's just butthurt that someone who has a comic shop got business and is actually getting paid when he's not.
Well, it's
really that simple.
Yeah, one of the arguments that they were making was, if all retailers can't be opened, nobody should be getting new books. We should all be suffering together. And I thought that was completely insane.
Yeah, we should all be Venezuela. That's right.
If you could have something and be able to sell that your competitors can't, you do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
It's capitalism. It's capitalism at its core.
Well, Todd McFarlane said it best. He said it in an interview, and I haven't watched the whole thing, but I did see a little clip of it on your boy Zach's channel. And but basically he's straight up. He was like, McFarlane was like, I refuse to join the comic book suicide pact.
Yep.
And that's exactly what he called it. He called it a comic book suicide pact. He's like, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to find a way to survive. And I'm like, hell yeah. Like, how it's not even revolutionary thinking. It's basic. Like, it's basic bitch stuff to say, like, no business owner in their right mind says, oh, the whole country shut down. Oh, I guess I can't do it. No, every business owner is like, what do I have to do to like get this going?
Yeah.
Like, yep.
What do I have? How can I fix this? What can I do? What do I have to learn? Do I got to do Zoom? Yeah. What is that? How can I use that? Can I sell stuff through it? Like, people want to know.
They have employees, their employees' families, and a lot of them feel responsible for these people under them because they jumped in the boat voluntarily and they want to take care of them too.
Mm-hmm.
Hey everybody, thanks a lot for checking out our video. If you like this content, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications, and join us again. We live stream Monday, Wednesday, and Friday starting at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. We usually go for about an hour. We do drawing, we talk about comics, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Make sure you leave us a comment and let us know what you think. Thumbs up, thumbs down either way, and we'll catch you all next time.